very good evening to you traders. It's Mark here from the Day Trading Room. Time is 8:15 in the evening London time on a Sunday evening, and just reviewing my trades for the week, logs and market charts, etc. Obviously Monday it's a bank holiday, so Monday's bank holiday this Monday coming up, should I say, not last Monday. But anyway, I just want to talk about two trades. Now, I picked these two trades because they are completely different. They are completely different ends of the spectrum, and just to show really two different methods and approaches, and how they're equally both as good as each other, but they're just a different way of approaching the market. Now, one's a reactive trade and one's a pre-planned trade. Now, don't get the reactive trade confused with flying by the seat of your pants and just hitting the market because you feel like a punt. You know, it's part of my trading plan. This trade is based on if I see this action. In fact, I'll bring the chart. May as well bring the chart. It was this section here. Okay. Now the trade is if I see this action, which is the drive higher, and then I will take a flag, a pullback, a pause, a continuation trade. So it's not a reactive trade as in I just see something and I dive in. It's part of my trading plan. My trading plan says if I see this sort of action, especially at the end of the day, that's another little tick in the box for me. I've got red flags and I've got green flags, if you like, and there's another tick in the box. End of the day, having tried to push lower, another green flag, also a trend behind it on the 60-minute, yeah, all that good stuff, lots of things going for it. If I see that, I will take the pullback trade, the first pause, the first pullback trade, glued to the tape looking at that. So let's talk about this trade anyway. While we're here, we may as well talk about this, and then we'll talk about the second trade. In fact, let me just pause this for a second. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to bring up my log because I've completely forgotten my entries, and I'd like to bring up the log, but I just need to zip out that account number. Okay, here we go. Usual bits are blanked out for obvious reasons, and the size is also blanked out because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you're trading on one lot or you're trading 100 lot. Well, if you're trying to get off 100 lot in one go on the YM, you're probably going to struggle. But anyway, you get the point. So this is the trade. The drive up, we start to hold above the VWAP. Now I really like that. I like the fact that we've put in a high tick reading. I like the fact, as I said, that it's coming to the end of the day. 9 o'clock is the close. 9 o'clock London's time, is the close. I like that a lot. I like the fact that we're holding up here for several minutes, and so there's my entry. I'm in at 12.804, 12.803. So that's around here, okay? In there, and I'm looking for the push higher. I'm looking for the push to take my first scale. I got that push, and it looks like 17 was the exit. Is that right? Yes, 17 was the exit for the scale. As if you've seen the videos before, I love to scale, I love to take the risk off the table. But in this case, so that's the 17, so 17. This case, I like it, still like it. I still like the fact that the ticks are holding. I like the fact that the volume's coming in. I like the fact that, as I said again, we're near to the close. I like the fact that it's holding. So I am back in again at 14. You can see here, and it looks like I've even got extra aggressive, added a couple at 19. So I'm back in again at the 14, and I'm adding a little tiny bit at the 19. I wouldn't have added lots there. I know I didn't because that's not my style. But just trying to push that trade a little bit more, get aggressive when what am I trying to say? Get aggressive when things are in your favour, when your edge is working, and when you're getting all the things lined up that you want to see as a trader. So that's a trade. There's a first entry, the risk off, back in again here, and this is just scaling off. You can just see here where are the exits: 26, 30, 33, 35, 34, 34, 34, 34, 35. You get the idea, okay? That's the trade setup. That's the idea of the trade. I like the fact that it paused. I did it again, and I'm just looking for that blow off top. Yes, maybe. Well, actually, the exits weren't too bad. 26s and 30s. I'm more than happy to exit into that sort of level. That's the trade. I like that because at the end of the day, but that's the reactive trade. That's something which you see, but you've planned for, and that's my response to it. Now look at the difference between that and this trade here. In fact, I'm going to switch this to a 5-minute because it's easier to see. Quickly, TradeStation, let's go. Okay, now day was chugging along. It was a Friday. I knew that we've got a long weekend coming. I know that the volume's going to be low. Well, I'm assuming the volume's going to be low. Of course, anything can happen in the market. Just remember that, guys, which is why we keep our risk managed, because anything can happen. Absolutely anything. Okay, so This is a more of a planned trade, and before the day started, I said, you know what? I said it in the office, and actually it was a bit of a joke because we had a bit of a laugh about it. But my plan for today is to buy the low and hold it for 13,000 Dow cash, which is about 70 points away at the time. Bit of a, obviously a bit of a joke, because it would appear a bit of a joke, because we'd all like to buy the low and hold for the high, would we not? But it's not as silly as you think, because if you break it down, think about what I'm actually saying there. I'm going to buy the low and I'm going to hold it for 13,000 cash. So the idea is I'm buying. So immediately, I'm not looking for shorts. I'm only looking for longs. So looking for longs only by making that statement. And the second part of the statement, I'm looking to buy the low. Now that is telling me that I'm not going to be chasing. So I'm not going to be buying high breakouts. I'm not going to be even interested in the market anywhere near the VWAP or anywhere in the middle of the range. I'm only looking for bottoming patterns. Now, when I say I'm buying the low, I'm not just taking a stab randomly, buying low tick after low tick after low tick after low tick. Of course not. I'm looking for some sort of bottoming pattern at the lows. Is that a double bottom? Is that a push to a key level and fail? Is that an exhaustion? Is that a flush? All the things that we use to find low swing points and high swing points. That's what I'm looking for. So then I've put myself in a position where, hey, if the market's not anywhere near the low, I don't even have to be bothered at looking at the tape. I can just have my chart up. I can just be monitoring. Okay, and it keeps me out of trouble. It keeps me from the short side. It keeps me from getting involved in the middle of the range. It keeps me from buying breakouts and getting caught in that. All I'm doing is looking for probes to the low side. And in fact, it couldn't have got better than this at the beginning anyway. It didn't turn out as good, but there's the previous day's high on the YM, by the way, as always. 93. So I've taken the lines off just to prove the point on this one, or to show the point, should I say. There's the previous day's high. There's a little probe under. And it was about the lunchtime hour. It's a little bit early, but the window's getting a little bit larger in terms of when the lunchtime comes. It was just great. There's the high. We just probed under. We did have a second probe on the 1 minute chart. It looks a little bit nicer on the 1 minute chart than the 5, but that's worth a go for me. My stop is here. My buy is here. The tape looks good. The ticks are okay, especially on that second probe. We've got a little bit of divergence. Volume is drifting off. It's a Friday. The 60-minute chart's up. So in other words, there's a slight little bit of shove to the upside. So part one of the trade is on. I'm on taking it. I'm happy to do it. Now, it took ages to get the first scale off. My first scale's at a 10. I might start to decrease that if this market starts to be quieter, because that's pushing the luck a little bit. But anyway, that's for another video. So yeah, buying that dip there, I've given the reasons before. That's the plan of the day. It was okay. By the way, the reason for that comment of buying the low was literally because we've been pushing up. We tried to push lower several days ago. I might as well go through this while we're here. We tried to push lower here. We couldn't. We pushed back up. Nice uptrend, closed on the highs there and gapped up. The overnight chart was okay. I was, had a bullish overtone into my trades. So there was the entry, and there was the first exit, and it just took forever. And if I'm honest with you, by 7:30, I got bored of it. And said, you know what, I'm going to call it a day now. If I leave some on the table, I leave some on the table. And it wasn't a large trade by any means. You can see the scale here. We're talking, these are 20-point blocks. So if you traded Friday, you know how quiet it was. Yes, I left some on the table. Wouldn't have hit the 13,000 out cash target anyway. But that's the difference. The point is, it's a difference between that trade, which is sitting back and analysing what's happened the day before, where we are in the price position relative to yesterday, day before, on the 60, on the daily, overnight, looking at macro things, or should I say what in terms of holiday. Got holiday on Monday, Friday as well. So aligning myself on the long side, 1, looking to buy the low, 2, so again only aligning myself with probes, lower, bottoming type patterns, double bottoms, fake outs, that sort of thing. And we just happened to get the fake out that just took out that low by a few took out the prior day's high by a few ticks, and my other signs that I was looking at were all there, and I was happy to take that. So 2 completely different trades. One's reactive, one's planned, but they're all part of the bigger, wider trading plan. So good trading, guys. Hope you had a good week last week, and looking forward to next week's trading. Take care as always. Please keep that risk managed. Anything can happen. We know that. If we've got our stop in place, even if we use a disaster stop and we come out manually, that's fine. Just please, manage that risk. Don't let one trade hurt you. Okay, take care, guys. Speak to you soon.